Okay, good morning students. Today we are going to see about chapter 2 whole numbers. It's a continuation of chapter 2. Already we have seen in chapter 2 about definitions of whole numbers, definitions of natural numbers and some properties based on closure property, distributive property, commutative property and associative property. Then we have seen about the predecessor and successor of a number. So today we are going to see about solving a problem by using the property. Mainly we are going to focus on distributive property. And the second topic we are going to see is patterns in whole number. So let's begin the session. So the first question is find the product using suitable property. So the question is 738 into 103. So 738 into 103. So here in this number we want to apply in this question we want to apply the property. So here we are going to apply the distributive property. So how we are going to apply this distributive property? So before we're going to apply the distributive property, first you have to know what is distributive property. So already we have seen the definitions of distributive property and the expression. So first you have to write the property. A into B plus C. A into B plus C equal to A into B plus A into C. So this is the distributive property. Now we are going to apply this property in this problem. So what is the first question? 738 into 103. So now we are going to split 103 in as 100 plus 3. So what is the first step we are going to do? We are going to split this 103 into 100 plus 3. Okay, so we have written the left hand side. What is the left hand side part? A into B plus C. So here what is the A? 738 is A, and what is B? 100, and what is C? 3. So we had made in the form A into B plus C. We have splitted 103 as 100 plus 3. So we got a term, right, left hand side we got A into B plus C. Okay, now we are going to split and write this like A into B plus A into C. Okay, so 738 with the 738 you are going to multiply the term which is inside the bracket. So what is the first thing? A into B. So 738 into B, that is 100. Then what is the symbol? Plus, then 738 into 3. 738 into 3. Okay, so we have applied distributive property. Now multiply and write down the answer. 738 into 100. So 738 into 1, 738. Then how many zeros are there? 2 zeros. Write the 2 zeros. So you got 73,800 plus 738 into 3. So we want to multiply 738 into 3 and write down the answer. Okay. Then finally what you are going to do? You are going to add the two terms and write down the answers. Okay. So here what we have done? Here we have first step what we have done. We have split 103 as 100 plus 3. So we got the form A into B plus C. Then apply the distributive property, that is A into B plus A into C. Just apply this and just do the calculation and write down the answers. Okay, now say 854 into 102. The same way 102 you want to split and write 100 plus 2. So we got the form as A into B plus C. Now the same way A into B. So 854 into 100 plus next 854 into 2. 854 into 2. Just multiply and write down the answer. Next, finally add it up. Here also we have applied distributive property over addition. So we have seen here two problems, how we are applying distributive property in that problem and finding the solution. If they are mentioning in the question find the product using the suitable property, means you have to apply the property and you have to write down the answer. Okay. Second one, we are going to see about word problem. Word problem. So what is the question? A taxi driver filled his car petrol tank with 40 liters of petrol on Monday. So on Monday, a driver filled his petrol tank with 40 liters. The next day means Tuesday. Next day he filled the tank with 50 liters of petrol. So Monday he has filled with 40 liters and Tuesday he has filled with 50 liters of petrol. And what is the condition given in the question? If the petrol cost rupees 44 per liter. So for 1 liter the cost is rupees 44. Now we want to find out the money he spent for petrol. Okay, so 2 days the car driver has filled his car with petrol. So Monday and Tuesday. What are the 2 days? Monday and Tuesday. The next day means first day they have given us Monday. So next day means what we'll write? Tuesday. Okay, so think about your car. You are having a car. Monday you have filled your car with 40 liters and Tuesday you have filled your tank with 50 liters of petrol. And I am saying that for 1 liter the cost is rupees 44. Now you want to find out the cost you spend for filling the tank with petrol. Okay, so next, first in the word problem, first thing you want to write down the steps. Steps, how you will write? You will write down from the question. You can make your own sentence and write down the steps. Then you want to do the calculation. So the cost of 1 liter petrol. The cost of 1 liter petrol is equal to rupees 44, which is given in the question. Next one, petrol filled in tank on Monday. So on Monday he filled with 40 liters. Then petrol filled in tank on Tuesday. On Tuesday with 50 liters. So the driver spent money on petrol. So what is the total? So what is the amount for 1 liter? 1 liter, what is the amount given? Rupees 44. So 44 into what are the 2 days he has filled with 40, what are the amount of petrol he has filled? 40 and 50. So 40 plus 50. So for 1 liter 44 into 40 plus 50. Then 40 plus 50 90. Then 44 into 90, multiply it and write down. You got 3,160 rupees. So the taxi driver spent rupees 3,160 rupees. So another way how you can calculate, you want to multiply 44 into 40, then plus 44 into 50. You can do the calculation in that manner also, but this is the easy method. Here what is this form? A into B plus C. Easy method, right? Just first you do the calculation which is inside the bracket, add it up and write. Then you want to multiply with the number which is outside the bracket. So you can do 44 into 40 plus 44 into 50. It takes a long step. The calculation becomes bigger. So always try to make the calculation simple and easy. So we are writing this in this way. So what is this form? This is a distributive property form, right? 44 means A into inside the bracket B plus C. Okay, so the steps you can write it down from the question. Here I have, just for example I have written this. You can use your own sentence and make it simple. You want to write a big sentence, make it simple and write down the steps and do the calculation. So the next is patterns in whole number. What is the next topic we are going to learn? So this distributive property is a continuation, like we have seen the definitions of whole numbers, then predecessor, successor and closure property, commutative property. Based on that we have seen problem. Then today we have seen about distributive properties. Based on distributive property, how to solve the problems. So the next topic in this chapter is patterns in whole numbers. Okay, so here these patterns in whole numbers, you can see this type of questions in your competitive exams, in quiz and in some puzzles. You can see this types of questions. It's very easy and interesting. So let's continue that session. So numbers can be arranged in elementary shapes made up of dots. Okay, we can arrange the numbers We can arrange the numbers in the form of elementary shapes, and some shapes they have given. Only we want to use these shapes: a line, a triangle, a rectangle and a square. Okay, so these shapes we want to arrange by using shape dots. Okay, these shapes. So a triangle, rectangle, square, all these, even a line, you want to represent by using dots. Okay, so some numbers we want to represent in the form of elementary shapes. What are the shapes given? A line, a rectangle, a triangle and a square. So these shapes will represent by using dots. Okay, numbers arranged as lines. So some numbers we can arrange by using lines, line segment representation. So 2 means how many dots you can use? 2 dots. 3 means 3 dots. For example, 5 means 5 dots. So all numbers we can represent by using lines. For example, 11 means you want to put 11 dots. So to make that easy, for some numbers there are particular shapes. For example, 3 we can represent by using triangle. 4 means we can represent by using square. Instead of putting 4 dots, we will make it simple in the form of a square. 3 means we will form a triangle. Okay, all numbers are possible to represent by using lines. Even 99 also we can represent by putting 99 dots, but it's take a long method. So that's why we are going for other shapes to make it simple. So let's see. So numbers arranged as squares. Numbers that are perfect squares can be represented as squares. That means perfect squares. So what are the numbers we can represent by using squares? Easy method to remember is perfect square. For example, 4. 4 is a perfect square because 2 square. 2 into 2, 4. Then 9 also we can represent by using square. Why? 3 into 3, 9. 4 into 4, 60. 5 into 5, 25. So these are perfect squares like 4, 9, 25, 16, 36, 49. These are the numbers we can goes on like this. Numbers we can represent by the shape squares. Why we can use squares? Because that are perfect squares. So here I have given 2 examples. 4 means 1, 2, 3, 4. You got a square. 9 means 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All the sides we are having equal, right? So we can represent using square shapes. So what are the numbers that arrange as rectangle? So other than perfect squares like 6, 8, then 10. These are the numbers we can represent by using rectangles. Other numbers that can be represented by rectangles are like what I said, 10, 12, 14, etc. It goes on. Next one example, which number can be shown only as lines? Okay, I'll read one more time. Which numbers can be shown only as lines? So prime numbers except 3 can only be represented by lines. So prime numbers means, what is prime numbers? You all know, right? Prime numbers, it will have one, it is divisible by only 1 and by itself. It will have only, it is divisible by only 1 and by itself. For example, 3 is divisible by 1 and 3 is divisible by 3. Can 3 divisible by any other number? No. 2 also it is divisible by 1 and by itself. 5, 7, 11, 13, 17. Like that it goes on. These are the numbers we used to say as prime numbers. Why we are saying these as prime numbers? Because these are the numbers which is divisible by only by 1 and by itself. So these are the numbers we can represent by using lines. Okay. So what are the numbers we can represent by using squares? Perfect squares like 2 square, what is the answer? 4. 3 square, what is the answer? 9. So these are the numbers we can represent by using square shapes. And other than perfect squares, numbers we can represent by using rectangles. Now what are the numbers that can be shown as lines? Prime numbers, the number which is divisible by 1 and by itself. For these numbers we can represent by using lines. This is an easy method to remember. So I am giving one number for the exam and I am asking you to represent by an elementary shape. So you can easily find out, right? Whether it is a perfect square, you represent by using square. Whether it is not a perfect square, you will go for a rectangle shape. Whether it is a prime number, you will go for lines. So this is an easy trick to remember. Now what is the next question? Which numbers can be shown as rectangles? The composite numbers. That means the numbers which are not prime numbers. Composite numbers means the numbers which are not prime numbers. That means these numbers can be divisible by it will have more than two factors. Composite numbers means it will have more than two factors. For example, 6. 6 is divisible by 1, 6 is divisible by 6, then 6 is divisible by 2, 6 is divisible by 3. That means the number which will have the factors more than 2. The numbers will be divisible by 1, divisible by itself, and also it is divisible by other numbers like 2, 3. Okay, so that is known as composite numbers. That numbers can be represented by using rectangles like what I said before. Next one, pattern observation. So here some easy method of calculation, like I said now, you will be using these methods in puzzles, quiz and in competitive exams. Like what is the first? Here the first pattern is given as addition of 9 to any given number. So addition of 9 to any given number. So what is the first question? 119 plus 9. So 119 plus 9, you know, you normally will add up and write. But they are giving an easy method to do the calculation, like mind calculation. So 119. So 9 can be written as 10 minus 1. 9 can be written as 10 minus 1. So 119 plus 10, what is the answer? 129. You know, without doing in a paper, the paper and pen, you can do it in your mind. 119 plus 10, 129. Now 129 minus 1, you will say 128. Is an easy calculation, right? So 119 plus 9 means you have to take the paper and you want to do the calculation. It's a little bit difficult form. This can be used for mind calculations. Like 119 plus 9 means 9 you want to split and write as 10 minus 1. Then 119 plus 10. What is the answer? 129. Then 129 minus 1, you can easily say 128. So what is the answer? 119 plus 9. What is the answer? 128. Easy calculations. This is a pattern observation. So first one we are using for 9. Addition of 9 to any given number. The next pattern observation is addition of 99 to any given number. So we have seen just before addition of 9 to any given number, now 99. So the same pattern. In 99 you have to split and write as 100 minus 1. 100 minus 1, what is the answer? 99. So 119 plus 100 we can easily say as 219. Now 219 minus 1, what is the answer? 218. Okay, just we are using here the pattern observation. So 119 plus 99 is a question. So this 99 we are splitting and writing as 100 minus 1. So 119 plus 100 we can say 219. Then 219 minus 1, 218. So this is a pattern observation. So we have seen here two for 9 and 99, addition of 9 and as well as 99 to any given number. So this is an easy calculation. So easily you can do it in your mind. So this type of question we can see in puzzles, in quiz, in exams, competitive exams. These types of pattern observation you can see. Can you see here 1 plus 0? What is the answer? 1. So therefore option A is the correct answer, because when you do the calculation you are not getting the answer as 0. So option A. Okay, this is a 1 mark question. Since for your understanding I have written the answers for each option and finally I have written the answer. Therefore option A, it will not represent 0. So I have given the explanation also for each options. So if the product, second question, okay, if the product of two whole numbers is 0, product means when you multiply, product means multiplication, right? The product of two whole numbers is 0. Can we say that one or both of them will be 0? Justify through examples. Can you understand the question? If the product of two whole numbers, they are saying product of two whole numbers, we can take for example A and B. So two numbers, when you multiply, the answer is 0. Can we say that one or both of the number will be 0? They are saying, so when you take two whole numbers, Here I am taking first number as A and second number as B, and I am multiplying A into B. I am multiplying and I am getting the answer 0, and they are asking whether A can be 0 or B can be 0 or both are 0. Justify through examples. So for example, A I am giving you 5 and B I am giving you 0. When you multiply, what answer you are getting? 5 into 0, what is the answer? 0. So one number is 0, that we are doing the operation is multiplication, and I am giving one number as 0. So your answer is also 0. If I am giving A also 0, B also 0, what will be the answer? 0. So now we are going to justify this using examples. Yes, product of two whole numbers will be 0 if one or both of them will be 0. Just what I said. A I am giving 0, B I am giving 2. What is the answer? 0. Now A I am giving 0, B also I am giving 0. What is the answer? 0. So yes, they are asking justify the answer. So first you have to write this sentence. Okay. Yes, the product of two whole numbers will be 0 if one or both of them will be 0. If A is 0 means also answer is 0. If A and B is 0 means also answer is 0, because here we are doing multiplication. Okay, the next one, if the product of two whole numbers is 1, product means multiplication of two whole numbers is 1, can we say that one or both of them will be 1? The same thing. Here they are asking, when you multiply two whole numbers, you are getting the answer 1. And they are asking whether A can be 1 or B can be 1 or both 1. When you multiply, you are getting the answer 1. You want to justify. Here what you will say? If both numbers are 1 means only we will be getting the answer as 1. For example, I am giving A as 2 and B as 1. What will be the answer when you multiply 2 into 1? 2. When you multiply any number with 1. Okay, when you multiply any number with 1, what is the answer? That number. For example, 1 into 2, 2. 5 into 1, 5. 10 into 1, 10. So if you want to get the answer 1, what should be? The both A and B should be 1. So 1 into 1, what is the answer? 1. So you want to write product of two whole numbers will be 1 if and only both of them will be 1. So that means A also 1, B also 1. Then only we will be getting the answer 1. Okay. I am giving A equal to 2 and B equal to 1. Whether you will get the answer when you multiply that two numbers, whether you will be getting the answer 1? No, you won't be getting, right? So if two whole numbers should be 1, then only we will get the answer 1. When you multiply that two whole numbers, we will get the answer 1. So product of two whole numbers will be 1 if and only both of them will be 1. Both of them should be equal to 1. A and B should be equal to 1. Then only we will be getting the answer as 1. So A into B, A1 and B1. What is the answer? 1. Okay, for 0, any one number can be 0. A can be 0 or B can be 0 or both are 0, you will be getting the answer 1. There, any one number can be 0 or both the number can be 0, you will be getting the answer as 0. But for 1, both numbers should be equal to 1. Then only when you multiply that two numbers, you will be getting the answer as 1. Okay, is it clear for you children? Okay, thank you children. Have a nice day. Bye bye.